Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Joann Jackson.
Hey, y'all.
And we're joined with two guests in studio. We've got retired officer David Laisure.
Hello.
And also joining us is retired officer Jim Richardson.
Hello, everybody.
So welcome to the show, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day.
Yep.
It's Friday. It's a good day.
You know what? Absolutely. Well, as I like to say, any day in the studio is always a good day.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun up in here. And, an update to last week's episode. Joe, I got the truck back.
Yay. I saw the beast when I pulled in.
Yep, got the truck back with a new transmission.
Running good?
It does run good, but let me just say, all those annoying telemarketers that call you about your vehicle's extended auto warranty, I kind of have a
Could have come in handy.
kind of have a different opinion now.
And people always give me a hard time because I buy the warranties for my vehicle.
Well, I buy them for the house, just not for the car. Transmission hadn't gone out in the house once.
Well, you did have a house issue, and luckily you had insurance for that.
Yes. Now, a kind of a weird thing that happened this week. I got a call a couple of days ago, and I answered the call, and the guy asked me if I had uploaded the videos for the case yet. And I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he said, Yeah. He said, "Isn't this Officer Rutherford?" Well, yeah. Yeah. And
Retired Officer Rutherford?
That's PTSD time there. So.
yeah.
Like, oh my God, am I dreaming?
And I was like, yes, I'm retired, but this is Officer Rutherford. What's going on? Well, you're working that fire investigation scene with me. And I'm like, no,
No, not this one.
I'm not. And come to find out, this gentleman was an officer in Amarillo, Texas. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Amarillo, Texas has another officer named Steve Rutherford. And this guy was working an investigation with him. And we were still trying to put together the pieces of how'd you call me? And
yeah, because cell phones aren't like, it's not like the old days when you looked in the yellow pages or looked somebody's number up.
Yellow pages.
Or the white pages.
Yeah, we're telling our ages now.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Whatever.
But come to find out, he had participated in the Texas Peace Officers Memorial Ride, an event that we founded back in 2013 as part of our Texas State Peace Officers Memorial. He had participated in that, and he had my contact number in his phone, and so he thought he was calling the other Officer Rutherford, and he called me instead.
Did you talk him into doing the state ride?
Well, we did talk about that, and it was funny because he obviously didn't mean to call me, but then we talked on the phone for probably a good half hour. Had a great conversation.
Well, that's great.
But yeah, it's just a crazy deal. Now, I'm also excited today because we've got David and Jim in studio. I worked with both these guys.
They're already messing around down there. Pay attention.
I know.
Focus.
Hey,
Focus.
when you get the two of us together,
We're
it's gonna happen.
reliving our many years on the same shift together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking forward to diving into that today. Now, David, you were on episode, I believe you're on episode 37.
Yes, sir, I was, and enjoyed it very much.
And it was a pleasure having you in the studio. It always is.
Thank you.
We had to bring you back because if you recall, in episode 37, we gave a certain person a phone call.
Yeah, we did. My little buddy, Jim.
Little buddy Jim, who's sitting next to you today. So
Who's the little one?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, I'm about 5'9". So.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Yeah, on stilts, maybe.
allegedly, but and kind of diving into that, the reason we called Jim is because you guys had a call that you answered together, and it was kind of a hostage situation, end up in a vehicle pursuit, and you guys are not the equivalent in height. And whenever
Not even close.
whenever you had to run to your cars, you guys swapped cars. And I think there was a little discrepancy between stories as to who got in whose car
He
first.
got in my car.
No.
that's-
As you pointed out, Steve, the height disparity, right? Jim's like 6'2", whatever. I'm about 5'9" on a good day, maybe 5'9.5". He's
5'6".
a lot more long-legged than I am. So when we both ran to the squad cars, well, look at Jim. He's going to get to the squad car first. Well, Jim gets into my car, and there's only one squad left, so I jump into his. So that's what really happened.
Okay, and
I wish we had a polygraph right now.
Well, we don't, unfortunately, but we do have something else.
We have Joe here. She's a female. They can spot a lie a mile away, son.
Yeah, she about to see you coming.
I'm just looking at y'all like, yeah.
But again,
I think y'all probably jumped in at the same time.
Oh no. He made it to the way my squad car
Whose
was
car
parked.
was closer?
Mine was closer because Laisure arrived first.
Mm-hmm.
So my squad was kind of away from the suspect vehicle, and you can see me clearly on video. I get out and I got my firearm at the low ready just in case, because again, we didn't know that the person in the car was wanted an aggravated robbery, had just robbed the Shell station the night before in Farmers Branch. So we didn't really know what we had until we just about pulled up on scene. And anyhow, y'all heard the story, but when things broke loose, Laisure ran to the closest car, which was my squad car, which is why when we were in pursuit, you can clearly see it. He's primary because he got out in front first.
Okay, so when you pull up to a scene, you're behind the scene. So the scene's here and you guys are back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How is your car the closest if it's the one furthest away?
So the
Good
way the
question.
car, it was
Yeah,
parked.
cross-examination.
Okay, so the car was parked under
Like to pass the witness?
Those parking, like at apartments, you see the metal, it was parked in there. So if that suspect car was like this, and I know y'all can't see it, but if the suspect car was here, I pulled up like this, and Laisure's car was back here. But when we broke loose, Laisure went to the driver's side, I went to the passenger side. He ran to my squad, so I had to run back to his squad. And then I had to do a circle because I fell behind in the pursuit, and he was primary, so I caught up to him. And that's when I told him.
Tomato, Jim got the wrong car. There you go.
Exactly. That's what it was like.
The Chinese fire drill, is that what they used to call that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and though we can't verify who actually got to the car first, Laisure said Jim would probably embellish on this story. And Jim did. The first words out of his mouth, we have to realize Laisure's like 4 foot tall and Jim's 7 foot tall. So, Joe, could you go over there real quick? Gentlemen, if you'd stand up for us, please.
We're going to get the truth.
All right.
Yeah, we're
I'm
going
going to take our headphones off.
No, you can stand.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what we've got, we've got a tape measure here in studio, and we're at least going to put this one to rest. And
Now, I want this on camera. I want his feet on camera because the boy is known
I'm
to
not
stand on his tippy
tippy-toeing.
toes. All right.
See, there he goes embellishing again.
all right, Joe. How
5'9".
Yeah, he's about 5'9".
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
We got
I didn't go that high. And I took a little bit off for the shoe.
I'm more like 5'10".
You're like 6'1"?
Yeah.
From what I can tell.
And look how long his legs are compared to mine.
Also sunk into the carpet, so.
so
Steve, you see, I'm not 4 foot tall.
no, the official measurement on Laisure was what, Joe?
About 5'9".
There we go.
5'9". Laisure.
Let the record show 5'9", Your Honor.
But he has shoes that have a pretty good sole on
Yeah,
them.
he's wearing boots.
And the carpet in here is quite nice. It's very squishy. So they're both sunken into the carpet.
And moving on to Jim, what was our final result on Jim's height?
6'1". But he, like I said, the carpet in here is really squishy. So they both probably, yeah.
So
A little bit.
So if they're moving to the vehicles, let's say this: if we set them up on a track, who's going to run faster? You think?
The long-legged one.
The long-legged one. Well,
Longer stride. So
yeah, you would think it would be the long-legged one, but he may not be a runner.
like,
Laisure could be short and scrappy.
I'm not sure we have any runners in the
You
studio
got short,
today.
right?
Well, when we ran our half marathon, Jim did beat me by like several minutes. I came in afterwards.
Laisure. I had. Okay, so in his defense, we did run a half marathon. We trained and we did great. I had to leave. He and my wife ran it too. I had to leave him behind, and then I would stop and turn around and go catch back up to him. And then when we'd get all together, we'd start running. I'd leave him again. I did this probably. I bet you I did it 8 times. So I'd come back. So I bet you I ran a full marathon that day.
Oh,
probably.
there we go.
That's a sign of a true friend coming back and checking on you.
Keep running back for those two knuckleheads.
Well, Laisure, this tells me apparently he's good at running, so
that solidifies the story right there.
Translates right over to Jim got to the car first.
Okay.
All right. Hey, at least we got that. At least we got that kind of settled, maybe.
Yeah.
But let's remind.
I have the videotape. I do have.
We
the
want video
videotape.
evidence.
Okay,
next time.
I will get it.
Next time.
Yeah, bring the video next time.
I will.
Well, Laisure, let's remind our listeners. Laisure, you're a retired officer. How long were you in law enforcement?
I was in law enforcement total 28 and a half years.
I was going to say 52.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
This is there's just certain guests I know I can joke with about stuff like that. And then there's certain guests that I don't know that I know I can't joke like that.
It's because my hair's got more blonde highlights now. It's not as dark.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Hey, so I was somewhere yesterday and there was an older gentleman. He must have been in his late 70s who was getting his hair highlighted. So,
hey, kudos. At least he still has hair.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I still got some up there. I'm holding on to it for dear life, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Just don't look at me from the back.
It'll blind you.
I got nothing.
I do have to use sunscreen for that one.
Yeah, if you catch it just right, that sun will blind you off the top of his head.
All right. So, Laisure, 28 and a half years in law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
What all agencies did you work for?
I started my career with the Rockwall Sheriff's Department. And then from there, I went to the Roy City Police Department. And then my buddy Jimmy Lee recruited me to come to Farmers Branch. So I ended my career with Farmers Branch PD.
Good deal. Now, Jim, how long were you in law enforcement?
I did 25 years, all with Farmers Branch.
All there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Any special assignments at your time in Farmers Branch?
Let's see. I was on the hostage negotiating team for the Nortex Metro SWAT with my buddy Laisure here.
Yep.
I was in the mobile field force, the riot control team, weapons of mass destruction team. This got very big after the September 11th attacks, of course. Had to go to Anniston, Alabama, go through the Cobra several times. You went, didn't you?
Yeah.
The Cobra?
Yeah.
I got cross-trained with that.
Narcotics.
I was undercover narcotics. I worked dope for 3 years. Then I came out of narcotics and went to work in still in special investigations as a juvenile detective and a school resource officer. So I spent my last 13 years working SID and juvenile.
Yeah, Jim and I was there 17 years. For all 17 years, Jim and I were on the same shift from patrol to investigations.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
And just for those listening, this is not about astronomy today, because every time Laisure says Jim and I'm thinking we're talking,
No zodiac sign. So.
Okay.
Yeah, no zodiac signs. Yeah.
Okay.
But my birthday is on Sunday.
Ah, happy early birthday.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, happy early birthday.
Did you ever get that birthday list together for our listeners?
I did not.
Okay. Well, then,
I forgot about it. You're supposed to remind me.
I can't say you're going to get anything if you don't have a list. Okay. Well, moving right along, Joe.
Yep. Moving along.
Keep thinking about that list. You guys, but David and Jim, you guys worked together. You worked on the streets quite some time together. And again, it still haunts me because I worked with you guys, hearing you guys call out, I'll be on traffic, 13900 Midway.
Yes. That was my honey hole right there.
All night long sometimes. And I was like, did they go anywhere else, or is it just 13900 Midway?
That was pretty much it. But like, Steve said, I'd check out on traffic, and then I'd get from Steve in all caps, "Son," with a bunch of exclamation points. Like, come on, dude.
Come on. We're trying to sleep over here.
There you go.
Making the rest of us look bad.
But you know what, David, talking about 13900 Midway, man, you made a lot of stops, and you were known for this, for stops for intoxicated drivers.
Yes, DWI was my bread and butter. Others have, Jim, like narcotics, stopping vehicles for narcotics, burglars. I like DWIs. I like getting those guys off the street.
And in previous episode, in episode 37, you told us about stopping one on suspicion of DWI, and you actually took a header into the mirror of the car.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a Ford Expedition. Gave myself a concussion, and then my good buddy over here.
Wait, it was an Expedition?
Yeah, it was an Expedition.
Were you standing on a phone book when you hit your head?
Wow. How we remain friends all these years, I'll never know. It's a love-hate relationship.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But so other than that, do you have any stories about any other intoxicated drivers you stopped over there?
I do, yeah. So I was at 13900 Midway as usual. This was like a Friday or Saturday night. And, I'm sitting there facing southbound on Midway. I see this Ford pickup truck coming northbound, weaving all over the place. Jumps up on the curb, so I pull out, and I go, I got a good one here. So I called for a 30 or a cover unit, and I go up, make contact with the guy, and identified myself. I said, sir, the reason I stopped you is because, you're all over the road. Are you okay? And I looked at him, and he goes, I'm fine. I said, how much you had to drink? And I'm sitting there, and the usual response when you ask anybody, if you ask a male how many beers you've had, two beers. You ask a female, it's one glass of wine. So I'm sitting there, I'm expecting to hear 2 beers. And this guy's sitting there, and he's counting on his fingers. And I go, what is this dude doing? And he goes, I've had 17 beers. And it took me back, and I kind of chuckled. And I go, excuse me? And I'm talking to him in Spanish, and because the guy couldn't speak English. And he repeated, he goes, I said 17 beers. I look in the back of the truck. Sure enough, there's a 24-pack of Coors Light in there, and there are several empty cans inside his cab. So long story short, we end up, do the field sobriety. He's intoxicated, take him to jail. So we're in the intox room. I'm going to do the intox on him. I'm about to read him his DIC-24 and do the interview portion. And at this point, I go, I'm going to see if I can get him to say 17 beers again. So I sat there, and I said, excuse me, sir, you said you had how many beers? 3 beers? He goes, no, I told you I had 17 beers. And I just busted out laughing on tape. And, so I finished the interview, processed everything, never went to court on that one.
Yeah,
I can imagine why.
That's like
But
last
in my
week's.
career, in all my years, I've never had anybody be honest. And sure enough, there was 17 beers missing from the 24-pack. So
Reminds me of one of the stories from last week from John Palmer about the guy that got called for homicide. I did it.
Yeah.
wow.
I did
Makes it easy.
He told everybody that he could find. I did it.
Fessed up to it. And
The husband. Yep.
If you haven't listened to episode 42, I'd invite you to do so.
It was pretty funny.
It was. We had Kevin Navarro and John Palmer, both retired homicide detectives from the Dallas Police Department on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not very often you get someone, especially an intoxicated individual, that's going to tell you exactly what they had.
Yeah.
Yep. That, like I said, that floored me in all my years. That's the first time and last time that ever happened.
The unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, it was a unicorn.
The unicorn of intoxicated individuals.
Yep.
This is Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. Check us out online at offbeatcopshow.com.
Let's welcome Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the studio. Their number's 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com. How's life treating you, Daniel?
Life is great, man. We are gearing up, and I can't wait for spring.
Now, you mentioned spring. We mentioned storms and rain and all that. And I know that over the years, you've worked with multiple insurance agencies, but what kind of advice would you give homeowners in regards to home insurance?
Well, home insurance is needed for all of us, and it's there to protect you in the event that something, very badly happens to your home. And so I think you need to be very aware of what your policy covers. What is your current deductible? What are your coverages allowed? Do you have exclusions? Do you have certain riders that need to be put on your policy in order to give you better coverage? I would strongly urge everyone, have a relationship with your agent that that you trust, and just flat out ask them, what are my policy changes? I saw I had a new premium coming across the boards. We always get those letters, we get those emails of updates on our coverages. And how many of y'all really open up those emails or open up those letters and read that? And that's what you need to do. But unfortunately, we get busy. We'd assume that it's not that much of a change, and we go on about our life. And then 4, 5, 6 months, 9 months, a year later, we need our insurance, and we figure out, oh crap, my deductible went from a 1% to 3%. Or my coverage went from a replacement cost to an actual cash value because I had too old of a roof. Or my metal's not covered on my house anymore, like my gutters and my vents. And so all those things are now become out-of-pocket expenses. Make sure you have a great relationship with your agent. They need to be able to tell you exactly what your policies changes are and how your modifications to what your premiums are can give you better coverage for a fraction of the dollar. So make sure you are well educated and versed on your policies.
Well, that's a lot of things to be aware of, but can save yourself a whole mess of money there in the end. If you're in need of a new roof repair, remodeling, or restoration, give Daniel a call at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. The number's 833-COOK-DFW. Again, that's 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask them about their free first responder upgrade.
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
Okay,
I'm telling you, when we get together, it's like two kids, man.
I'm going to have to separate y'all.
I gotta say, we can't even kick off the segment because we come in, these two are already laughing.
Well, I'm just thinking of that story.
All right, we're about to dive into that. All right, guys, welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Joann Jackson.
Hey.
And joining us in studio, the two guys that can't stop laughing today.
Mm-hmm. Very distracting.
Very distracting. I can't focus.
This is 2 weeks in a row. Steve's been distracted. He can't focus and do his job.
Joe, you don't have to separate us.
So our two guests today, we've got retired Officer David Laisure and retired Officer Jim Richardson.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Now, this segment of Offbeat is sponsored by our good friends at Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com.
Do you do trusts stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to call you.
All
Yes.
right.
Or him or whoever.
They're great.
Good. Yeah, I need something done here pretty quick.
Yeah, the guys at Alexander can definitely help you out.
Yep.
And again, going back to Alexander, there's no fees for first responders for financial advice and consultation stuff.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh, good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
good way to.
Steve was a police officer in Mesquite years ago.
Yeah, the founder of Alexander is a former Mesquite officer,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and
Survivor.
started Alexander back in 1992. So yeah, they can help you out. If you're in need, guys, give those guys a call. You can check them out online at alexfm.com. And, while we're sitting here plugging people, David, you, what are you doing since you've retired?
I went to work for my wife. Yeah, I know a lot of people go, "You're working for your wife?" I said, "Yeah."
You were working for your daddy.
Yes.
Now you,
yes.
Big brother.
I was going to go work at Cabela's, but my wife was afraid I'd spend too much money. But we have Cindy Laisure Farmers Insurance in Farmersville, and we've been in business since 1986.
Isn't that nepotism?
It's their own business. They can make rules. They can make up their own rules.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it because, David, you guys are one of our advertisers on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And just to let everybody know, if you are looking to advertise on the show, we are always open to new advertisers. And part of the proceeds from advertising go directly to the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. So we make sure that we're always giving back to the foundation.
Outstanding.
That's a good deal.
Yep.
So thank you, David, for
Well, thank you, and we're honored to be able to advertise.
yeah. And
So.
and now let's break that up because we just gave you a bunch of credit for being an advertiser. Now we're going to go into some stories that are just.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Tell me about this. You mentioned a story about a vehicle accident near a furniture store, Your Way Furniture Store.
Oh yes, this was probably around May or June, maybe closer.
It was
July.
hot. That's
It
all
was
I
hot,
remember. It was
and
hot.
in Texas, we'd gone like 3 months without a drop of rain. Well, for lunch, me, Jim, and another officer had gone to Pizza Inn. I'm not a big pizza eater, but Jim and this other officer could live off pizza every day. So we go to Pizza Inn. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. And I told Jim, I said, "Son, you need to go easy on the pizza. You know how pizza affects you." Well, Jim didn't listen. So, have a salad, son, sometimes. But anyway, so as soon as we got through eating, a torrential rainstorm. This is right around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Torrential rainstorm. And when it doesn't rain a lot in Texas, all that oil on the roads, it gets real slick. People forget how to drive. And, we started getting dispatched left and right to all kinds of accidents. Well, I got dispatched to a major accident on Alpha and Welch, and Jim was my cover unit. So we get there. We have a car upside down into the glass building.
Okay, we had a car upside down in the building we didn't know of yet. We had a car on the street, and that's what we responded to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And every other officer is responding to accidents. So we're there, and then we get out of the car, and it's hot. I see Jim gets out of the car, and he's beading and sweating. I said, "Dude, are you okay?" He goes, "Son." And mind you, we just got there. We're calling ambulances. We got people that's going to be care flighted and stuff like that. And Jim goes, "Son, I got to go to the bathroom." I said, "Well, you're just going to have to pinch things off. I'm sorry." He goes, "Dude, no, you don't understand. Things are touching cotton." I go, "Jim."
Turtle.
I said, "Dude," "you can't leave me here." He goes, "Dude, it'll just take me 5 minutes." I said, "Well, go inside and act like you're taking names or something." I said, "Because if a sergeant gets here, catches me here by myself, we're both in trouble." He goes, "No, I'll be right back." He goes, "It's either that or the inevitable." And so he gets in the squad car. He runs to the PD, and he's doing that. So about that time, the sergeant pulls up on scene. First thing out of his mouth, "Where's Richardson?" I said, I think he's inside, sir. He might be down the road," because we had another accident like a block away. I said, and it's all involved. He's in there getting, information. So I played it off, and I'm texting Jim, "Son, you better hurry it up. Get over here. Finally, Jim shows up and gets there, and we finish everything off. But, I'm telling you, son, next time don't eat so much pizza because you know what Pizza Inn, Long John Silver's, and Taco Bell did to me.
Oh, no.
I always try to take care of my friend, and Jim always carried a bottle of Imodium AD in his patrol bag, and anyone that knows Jim knows why.
Oh, okay. He's embellishing on this
No,
story
I'm
just a
not,
little bit.
son. Did you not carry Imodium AD or not? Be honest.
I think everybody carried Imodium AD. I was on patrol. If you ain't, you're not smart.
Laisure, did Did you carry a Modi Midi?
Yeah.
I carried Pepto-Bismol. And we all carried Tums.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the fact that you guys work together so much that you know where he can eat and where he can't eat and how it's going to affect him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The bad thing is Steve, we'd call it a 40. But if it was dire, a code 40. But if it was dire, it was an aggravated 40.
Yeah.
And then you had something maybe one step beyond that, which is a code brown, which is what you want to avoid, right? So as I got to the station and I pulled into that, I left the accident scene and I ran code.
Code 3.
I ran code to the PD. I left a trail of keepers. My inner belt, dude. I left a trail going to the men's locker room.
I'm glad you specified you helped us out on what kind of trail you left there.
Yes.
Yeah, I got nervous
it was
for a
trail
second.
of equipment. Yes, it was trail of equipment. Not
I was going to
anything
ask
else.
if you started in the car.
No. I
Started
I made it.
taking your gear off in the car.
That could have been. We don't know.
Did anyone look in his locker?
No, I
It
was.
took him a while.
I was successful. Not like the other one.
Oh,
at
yeah.
school.
That's for another day.
Yeah, no. But no, I made it and then made it back to the scene, and that's when I realized, okay, we have another vehicle that's inside the building that we had to work.
We're having to call
Well,
the fire department, cutting people out, and Jim is flying the opposite direction, and the medics and fire, hey, where's your buddy going? I said, we got another accident. He's going to go check on that one. I mean, I'm sitting there flying by the seat of my pants, and then the sergeant shows up. So,
Well, was that not a business that the car
it was
was
a
in?
business.
oh, it was
Well,
a
where are
business.
the people that work in the business? Why didn't they come out and say, hey, there's a car in our business?
I think
They were inside checking on the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she was still in the car. It was an old elderly lady.
Yeah,
I think she
elderly
was
lady, yeah.
still in the vehicle.
They were inside pointing at the officer who was leaving with his lights and siren.
Where's your buddy going?
Guess he got scared. He's going the other way. Oh, wow. All right. Well, when you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah, you got to go.
All right. Lay off the pizza there, Jim.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Don't eat it anymore. Nope.
Oh, okay. Now, Jim, since this is almost like a competition today, I think it's only fair that we give you the opportunity here. And Jim, during your time in law enforcement, I'm sure you've been around officers that get fatigued at work. They get tired.
Oh, Lord.
Ever come across anybody,
Oh, yeah.
like that?
So when I came inside to special investigations, of course, Laisure and I, like you said, we were on patrol together. Then we both got promoted inside, became detectives together. Of course, I was working narcotics. He was working the juvenile thing. But when I came out of narcotics and started working juvenile, I was 2 cubicles away from Laisure. So it wasn't uncommon to be sitting there. Of course, we'd come in, like say a Monday morning, we'd have case reports to file, the PC warrant affidavits, everything we had to do. So we'd be, we'd go grab the jackets and we'd start all the paperwork. And it wasn't uncommon. And you can ask the other one, I don't say their names or not, but Demores was on here. So
Yeah,
you can ask
Demores
Demores
was
because
on
he would have heard it. But there was another detective that came in after, I won't say names. But it was not uncommon to be sitting there and filling out paperwork, and all of a sudden you hear from Laisure's cubicle, just out of nowhere. And
It was I was taking mental thoughts of my case, son.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was preparing for court and putting my thoughts together. They were mental
so
thoughts.
the heavy breathing with the snoring, what was that about?
My nose was clogged up.
Steve, this happened multiple times. And I can remember one time, since we're gonna out each other. I can remember one time we're in SID.
No,
And no. You had your moment. My turn. So I want you guys to understand. Now, Laisure, you're down, what, 55 pounds?
55 pounds.
So I'm proud of him. He's lost a lot of weight. However,
That's
back then, we
Because
were
he's
both-
not eating pizza, Jim.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Long John. Now, I do like the occasional Grandy's or Luby's Cafeteria.
Random, man.
Well, you brought it up.
So,
Jim, you were saying.
so anyhow, Laisure we were all in SID. And back then, Laisure was carrying more weight, and I was carrying more weight.
I had
And,
more muscle, son.
Yeah, I wasn't muscle. But anyhow, So Laisure stands up in his cubicle, and I heard this clear as day.
Oh,
Laisure
no.
got up and sneezed the loudest sneeze, dude, I've ever heard anybody sneeze. All of a sudden, you see those short little stubby legs, dude. He is running out of the SID to get to the bathroom because I think somebody pushed Brown and didn't realize.
That's not true. That is not true.
Demores was there. Demores saw it. I will call Demores right now and get him on the phone.
I'd eaten something and it didn't agree with me, and I was feeling nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
So what came out? It was clear as day what happened.
You're embellishing there.
I am not.
And of course, after that happened, Jim goes, because the PD at the time, you had SID and then you had CID. We were separated by a whole wall and a door. So I come back, and Jim has gone and gotten everybody from CID, and everyone's waiting for me to come back, asking me if I'm okay and if I have a change of clothes in my locker. That's a true friend there, buddy.
Yeah, that's what friends are for, right?
Oh, round up all the investigators. They have them standing there for when you come back.
We all gave him a round of applause when he came back.
You know, cops are as bad as firemen, and once something like that happens, you will pay for that for the rest of your career.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, even many years after you've retired on that.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We won't forget that one. I promise you.
Hey, the good thing about telling us that on the show, Jim, we're going to preserve that memory.
Oh, good.
Good. It's
That way he'll never forget it.
It'll be out there for a while.
I didn't know if we had to call hazmat to come clean us.
Oh gosh.
I kind of feel like I'm hearing the fish stories of law enforcement.
What stores?
The fishing stories.
Oh,
The
yes,
fish was this
yes.
big?
Oh, yeah.
It was actually
Yeah,
this big?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
please
that-
don't ask them to say how big something was.
I did not. I did not.
Oh
Just
gosh.
to clarify, I did not.
Okay, now, Jim, you also mentioned a story about building searches, and it actually reminded me of one that you and I went on at the end of a night shift one night. And whenever we went inside the building, it was some kind of T-shirt building or something that was, I don't know, 50, 60, 70,000 square feet. And I remember there was a Segway leaning against the wall. You remember that?
Oh, yes. I
Couldn't
do.
Yeah, never ridden a Segway before, but we were in there and we're thinking, this is a big building. It's going to take forever to search this. And, there's a Segway right there. So, although we didn't use the Segway because it didn't have the little key to make the thing work.
I was going to ask if you rode double.
Well,
Wow. I was in back. I was in back.
That's like when you have to share a bed, one under the covers, one over the
I
covers.
think I took Steve
No
out.
skin touching.
Call 911. Steve's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
they killed the host.
Steve's going to have PTSD from that one.
That's funny.
I had to get that out of the way first. I rolled it back. I was the giver, not the receiver. No, we did not ride the Segway.
Dumb and Dumber of Segways.
Yes. I did not take the Segway ride with Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, what else do you have involving building searches where I was not involved?
Okay. So, Laisure and I were working evenings, so we were still on 8-hour shifts back then before we went to 12s. And we got a call of a building, of a business alarm on the east end. Like the warehouse you're talking about, Steve, it was a massive, massive warehouse. So we get there, we find an open door. So as you know, you find an open door, you advise dispatch got an open door, you go in, you take your firearm out, and you kind of start doing a whole building search. So long story short, we're searching. Man, we've been in there so long that dispatch does like a checkup just to make sure we're okay, which is normal. We radio, we're fine, but we still have a lot of this building to search, and it's pitch black. I mean, pitch black. We're using flashlights and everything. So Laisure and I are kind of walking and kind of scanning, checking everything, flashlights, everything looks all right. I happened to look down and I saw a soccer ball. And
Game on.
I had a rookie with me, didn't I?
no, it was just you and I.
It's just you and I?
So there was a soccer ball, and I was like, oh, why would they have a soccer ball? And I was like, all right, maybe it's a big warehouse. Maybe they kick it around. So Laisure was in front of me, probably about from here to that Heineken chair is right there. And I grabbed that soccer ball as hard as I could. I threw it straight up in the air. I was just wanting it to bounce, just to kind of scare him. I could not have timed this thing any better. That ball landed literally right in front of his feet and shot off. Dude, I've never seen Laisure move this way, but his foot got stuck to the floor. He couldn't move, but he spun it around. He did an entire 360 with his gun, and he flagged me with his gun. I'm sitting there like, dude, what are you doing? We got, and he is so scared. He didn't know what to do. He vapor locked. That's exactly what he just vapor locked. And I'm dying. I'm doubled over, dude. I'm laughing so hard.
You're just lucky I didn't shoot you, son.
I am lucky. I mean, there's no firearm discipline with this one apparently, but man, I couldn't have timed it better, Steve. That thing landed right at his feet and shot off, and it was quiet. I mean, you could hear a pin drop, and that ball went off right in front of him. All I saw was his flashlight spinning around. I saw his gun spinning around. I'm like, no, don't shoot, man, don't shoot. So, after that,
I remember that one. Yeah,
dude, I laughed at that one for 15 minutes. I laughed all the way back to squad car. I couldn't even check it out clear because I was dying. I had tears in my eyes. So that was our little. Of course, we have searched thousands of businesses together, but yeah, that was by far one of the ones that stuck out because I got him good on that one.
Yeah.
Laisure, you got anything to fire back with on that one?
No, not on that one. I got to admit, he told the truth on that one.
Okay. Well, there's a first time for everything, right?
Now, I do have a story about Jim. I had been with the PD, roughly about 2 years. And so when I got hired, a good friend of mine, Jimmy Lee, and he listens to the show all the time, he told everybody, hey, Laisure's fluent in Spanish, so if he was the corporal on the shift. He goes, if y'all need any translation, call Laisure. Okay? Jim's last name is Richardson. I did not know that Jim was Hispanic. I did not because he doesn't look it.
Oh, yeah. He was our secret weapon sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Jim would call me. He go, hey, Laisure, are you busy? No. What you got? He goes, I need some translation. So I hear for 2 years I'm translating. So and Jim, if he had a DWI, he would always put from where I was standing, I did not observe the HGN. Because if you observed HGN, you're going to be in court every single time.
Oh, yeah.
And then, if it was a family violence, Laisure translated. So who got called in to testify? It was Laisure. So he did this to me for 2 years. I'm translating for him. So then Jim calls me, I think it's a family violence. We get, hey, can you come translate? Well, Jimmy Lee, who's the corporal, shows up on scene. Now, mind you, I was in 6 beat, way on the east end, and I think Jim was working 2 beat or something that night. And so Jimmy Lee goes, hey, buddy, what are you doing all the way over here? I go, well, I have a nickname for Jim called PA. And I said, PA called me to come translate again. He goes, who? I said, Jim. He goes, you're translating for Richardson? I said, yes. He goes, buddy, you realize that Richardson speaks Spanish as well as you do. I said, what? I looked at Jim. I go, are you kidding me? And I didn't say, are you kidding me? And he goes, well, yeah. I said, why didn't you ever tell me? He goes, you never asked me. I got him back for that one.
Dude, he got me out of court several times.
I got him back into court several times for that one.
Yeah.
Payback.
Yes. Yeah, he speaks Spanish as well as I do.
You didn't ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Joann, I'm not sure how you score this bout so far, but I've got it tied between these two.
Yeah. This is a good one, too. Yeah.
Let's get to one more before we go into break here. You guys mentioned something about a good eye and a jogger.
Oh, yeah, you take this one, son.
All right, I'll take this.
And then I'll tell the truth when
I'll
tell
tell the truth from the get. I admit it was on me.
Okay,
it was on me.
okay.
I'll admit.
All right.
So we used to have whenever you're on deep nights and you want to get together and type your reports, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You got DWI, whatever to type. Just good eye. You just park your squads next to each other and good eye. Somebody can good eye or someone can take a rest, whatever. So Laisure and I, we had been in court And we had tried to call and say, hey, look, and they said, we're at minimum, whatever, we need you to come in. Because that happened quite a bit.
Yes.
And before, we got fully staffed. So we go into the PD, we work our shift, we're coming to the end. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So we pulled up where Parish is. It used to be Mobile Exxon, but now they changed it to a parochial school. And it had this long driveway. So Laisure and I pull up next to each other, but our windows, and we have about 2-3 feet between us. And Laisure said, I can't keep my eyes open. Can you good eye? I said, absolutely, because what we used to do would turn on our radars, turn the volume up, so a car comes, it'll beep and it'll wake you up. So I said, man, go ahead. I got to work in this report. So I'm henpecking away at my computer. Laisure closes his eyes just to get a few minutes of sleep or whatever, and I'm watching.
Hold on, for the chiefs and the supervisors listening, we didn't sleep. It was called mental thoughts. So let me just clarify that.
What are you worried about, man? We're both retired. I don't care. I slept. But anyhow, so it's my turn to good eye. Laisure sacks out, and I can hear him. He's snoring over there, just like he was in the cubicles later on.
Yeah.
But so he's over there asleep, and I'm typing. And next thing I know, I hear this tap, 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 tap. And I'm like, what is that noise? And well, come to find out, I too fell asleep after typing my report, and our squads were just far apart enough that what the tapping noise I heard was a jogger that ran between our squad cars. As I woke up, he's coming to the end of the squad car, and I see him, and I freak out, and I look behind, and did you say we could say his name?
Yeah.
Okay, and Dennis Aaron, another police officer, was back there smoking a cigarette. And I said, dude, what was that? And he goes, oh, the jogger just walked between your squad car. Just jogged between your squad car. And I said, how long have you been sitting there? And he's like, oh, this is my third cigarette. So I was like, apparently I was asleep for a while.
Wow.
So,
yeah, Dennis was taking the spotlight, putting it on us. We were sacked out, boy.
We were out.
And this jogger, thank goodness it was before cell phone cameras and any of that, because we'd have made the 5 o'clock news to doing mental thoughts.
We were both out.
Yep.
Out cold.
It's amazing you guys never did make the 5 o'clock news.
So, never, ever tell, let Jim's, say, I'll good eye for you, because he won't.
Hey, I was
He
tired.
won't. He can't be trusted.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
man can't be trusted. All right, we'll be back. Let's talk to David now from Cindy Laisure Farmers Insurance Agency. Their number is 972-784-8888. David, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Steve. How about yourself?
Man, I am doing great. I wanted to ask you, what kind of things can affect the price of someone's car insurance?
That is a very good question. So consistency in having auto insurance, that's a big factor. If you're one of those that hadn't had auto insurance in a few months, that's going to affect you. It's credit based. Driving history affects it as well, and claim history affects it, and your age, of course.
And David, I know that you're a retired police officer, and we actually work together. And again, sir, thank you for your service. And I understand you offer a first responder discount at your agency?
We do, and thank you for your service, Steve. Yes, we do. We want to give back to our first responders, and it comes out to about a 10% discount. And we would love to give you a free quote and see if we can bring you to the farmer's family.
Give the team at Cindy Laisure Farmers Insurance Agency a call for any of your insurance needs. The number is 972-784-8888. Again, that number, 972-784-8888. Be sure to ask them about their first responder discount. Welcome back. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. We got two guests joining us today. We've got retired Officer David Laisure and retired Officer Jim Richardson.
Hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing?
Now, if you've not been to the website yet, check it out. That's offbeatcopshow.com. Again, offbeatcopshow.com. There on the website, you can listen to all episodes. We've also got a link at the top of the page there on the website for the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. Click on that link, check it out. Of course, the foundation started by our good friend Russ Martin many, many years ago. The foundation provides monetary assistance to the families of our fallen police officers and firefighters here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It covers 10 counties. So a great cause. I'd invite you to consider making a donation there to the foundation. Also, on the website, there's a little place where you can contact us. So if you got something you want to share with us here at the show, just go to the website, again, offbeatcopshow.com, click on contact, send us a message. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube. All episodes are on YouTube as well. If you are watching on YouTube, give us one of those little thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Share, like, follow, all that stuff.
Do all the stuff.
Also, if you're listening on the streaming platforms, you can actually share episodes also. So share the episodes with your friends and family, as well as the Facebook page. We appreciate it, guys. Now, David, you mentioned something about a motorcyclist and a finger.
Yes, that was that's a pretty good one there. So I was working STEP on a Saturday morning.
And what is STEP?
It's a selective traffic enforcement program, and you would either target seatbelts, red light runners, or speeders.
Okay.
So I was working for speeders, and so it was Saturday morning. I was trying to get a little extra city overtime, and so I'm on 35 working STEP. It's a Saturday morning. It's not real, crowded or anything like that. So I'm up there and I'm moseying along, and I see a vehicle broke down in the HOV lane. I go, whoa, I'm here, so let me see if I can get them to safety. So it's an older couple. Guy says, hey, my whatever vehicle, he was in an SUV, like a Lincoln Navigator. He goes, I can't get it to stay on more than 5 minutes without it dying on me. I said, all right, let me try to see if we can ease you over and get you over on the shoulder. About that time, I'm talking to that guy, and I say, get back in your vehicle, and we're going to ease you on out. Well, about that time, I see traffic starting to kind of build up a little bit going northbound. And this guy on a crotch rocket's wearing a helmet, it's got the leather suits, got everything. He flies by me, slows down right before he gets to me, and waves at me, but only gives me one finger as he's waving. And he's looking back at me. And I'm talking to this guy, and then I go, oh, my gosh. I see traffic come to an abrupt stop. I go, oh, dear Lord. I said, this is going to be ugly. The guy's looking at me, waving at me with just one finger.
So he's got his hand cocked around.
Yes, he's looking at me. He's got his hand cocked around, waving at me with the one finger. And traffic comes up to a stop. He slams into a vehicle that's got a hatchback, and it's got 4 people inside. Thank goodness there was nobody sitting in the middle, because he hit the front motorcycle tire goes into the window in between both drivers. Everybody in the vehicle was safe. He does a complete somersault in the air. I bet he went 20 feet up in the air.
Golly.
He comes down, and he's landing on his feet, but those guardrails that have like the big round post coming out of them?
Mm-hmm.
So he flies, he's coming back down, and he straddles that pole. Right?
Ooh.
And I go, great, I'm out here working STEP, trying to make a little extra money, and I'm going to have to work a fatality since I'm here. Well, Laisure's here. We'll get him to work, yada, yada, yada. So I call medics. I call other units. I ease my way out. The old guy gets out. He goes, did you see what happened? I had to yell at him. I said, get back in your car. I got him to safety. I get up to the motorcyclist, and he's moaning and groaning. So I got medics coming and stuff, and then he raises his shield on his helmet. And I knew he was okay. He wasn't going to die.
Good.
And then he goes, oh, I'm hurting. And I look at him and I go, okay, buddy, I got medics en route, but I just want to ask you a question. Is your finger okay? He looked at me bewildered and goes, just kind of looked at me and goes, yes, sir.
That's called karma.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you talk about being at the right place at the right time. Man, I thought... And thank goodness the guy didn't die. No one was
Yeah.
injured or killed or anything like that. But I thought maybe that'll teach him a lesson. Next time he needs to wave with all 5 fingers instead of just the middle finger.
And pay attention where he's going.
Exactly, and watch where you're going. You know. So, but yeah, that was a good day. So
Well-
it turned out good. So
Yeah, I mean that's good. He lived and survived, but let that be a lesson. Wave.
wave with all 5 fingers.
That's right.
You know.
Or don't wave at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing wrong with not waving.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today's show. David, always a pleasure having you in studio. Jim, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
It was good.
It was good.
Worth the 2-hour trip.
Yep.
I got my laugh in.
Me too.
By all means.
I was
So,
like, every time I see a Segway, I'm going to laugh.
Oh gosh, we could sit up here for
Now
hours with all the
you're going to
stories
have
we
that,
have.
that visual in your head of Steve in the front, me.
Yeah.
Steve's got his gun, holding on with one hand.
as long as Jim doesn't have his gun pulled out.
And if you ever go eat pizza, just remember, don't do like Jim. Pizza affects my little buddy in the wrong way.
Wow.
Have that Imodium.
I feel like we've learned so much
It
today.
was very, very informational.
Oh, listen,
Informative.
we got what, 20 years?
Yes, we
working
could be
together?
up here for a
Yeah.
week straight.
And we wouldn't cover all of our stories.
No.
Well-
because there's a lot of stories outside of work too, because we're on the same deer lease together. We go
Yeah.
deer hunting together. We do a lot of stuff together outside of work. And oh yeah, there's stories.
Y'all ride segways together?
No,
Only
and
with
never
you.
will.
Only with you.
Remember, one under the covers, one over the covers. No skin touching. There we go.
All right. Well, we will definitely have to have you guys back on. It's been a pleasure having you in studio
Well,
today.
thank you.
Guys, till next time, keep it real, keep it funny, stay safe, and watch each other 6.